Hi, this is Dan Whiteman and
Jason Whiteman.
of Giant Evil Robot. There's a new thing we're doing, which you probably already know about because no one's watching the first episode. No one's going to know about this till like the 30th episode goes viral. Dan and Jason play a thing. Today we're playing Chex Quest, a completely free game you can get on whatever world it is I'm going to put in the description. So I'm going to just take a second about why we're doing this. Like a month or so ago, I'm going to turn the volume down. This is kind of loud. All right. Like a month or so ago, somebody on Kotaku, I don't remember who, I don't care, it doesn't matter, basically went on about how he pirated games in the late 90s because he was poor. And I'm kind of sympathetic to that because I'm also poor. But my immediate thought is there are so many cheap and free games available nowadays that's not a valid excuse at all.
No, it's really not. I mean, every distributor out there has just vast free games for you to get.
Yeah, and like I was thinking, like even in the '90s, that was when I built up my collection of NES and Super NES games. Like there's never been a point where being poor has been a valid excuse for pirating games. Like, yeah, you can't play the $60 luxury games, but there's like hundreds of games out there you can play. So that's why we're doing that's why we're doing this format for Dan and Jason Play. I think we talk about doing a Let's Play in some form or other for as long as there have been Let's Plays. But the idea is we want to play games for poor people, free or, $5 games or something that you can get, even if you're poor, and play it, and legally.
And there's a lot of gems out there, like free games that are just as fun or more fun than any AAA game, just because they go for really original things.
Yeah, you have a lot more freedom to experiment when you don't care if you're making money. I happen to know from experience. And anyone watching this, if you know of or have made a free and or really cheap game you'd like us to try out, send it to us. It might end up being a video. It might be a thing Dan and Jason play. But I want to talk a little bit more about this game. It is, as you can tell, it's actually not an early 90s first person shooter. It's a late 90s first person shooter that was commissioned by Chex as basically a Doom 2 mod. The episode 1, you're getting messed up by that guy.
Oh yeah, this is the harder difficulty. And probably the biggest thing I'm noticing is that they respawn.
Yeah, take 1, we were on the easy difficulty, breezed through the whole thing without getting hit. Now we're on take. Now it's like, oh, I'm going to do it on harder. It'll be no problem. Now he's getting messed up. But I forgot what I was talking about. That's okay. I think I was talking about how this was a Doom 2 mod after Quake had already come out. There were proper 3D. So is this like just a warehouse of Chex cereal?
Yeah, this is clearly the Chex warehouse.
It's like look at all this Chex cereal. I distracted myself again from what I was talking about. Again, in take 1, we were barely talking at all. Take 2, I can't shut up. I'm awake now. That's what happened. I drank some Diet Coke and I'm awake. There's probably a backstory to this as to why the slimes are, or phlemoids, I think they were called.
Yeah, Flamoids.
Which is a really disgusting name now that it's sinking in.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty creepy name.
And if you couldn't tell, we're not killing the phlemoids. We have a Zorcher, which is a teleport beam gun, which sends them back to their dimension. Because this is family friendly. And even killing green slimes is just not acceptable.
the question at hand really is, where do you think these things actually came from? I'm insisting that there was some experimentation that went wrong, and they're being infiltrated.
Well, I'm curious what sort of experimentation Chex cereal would be doing that would result in green slime phlegm alien things invading. And more crates of Chex. Wow, that's just so much breakfast cereal sitting around. You know, the guns are kind of silly, but it is kind of a cool design. The triple machine ball spinning around gun.
It's it's the totally not a minigun here.
Yeah, again, like I said, this is basically just a Doom 2 reskin. So these are all the Doom 2 guns, and it's not always easy to tell which gun was supposed to be which. I mean, you have the spoon that's the knife. You have a shotgun, but it's like, this is, I don't know what this was. I think they changed a couple of stats around of exactly how much damage they did. I mean, teleporting them, not damage. They didn't do damage. You know, wait, after you kill these guys, close that door again. This is refrigerated breakfast cereal in here? Is this? I mean, I could see if they had like giant tankards of milk or something, they'd need to refrigerate that.
Maybe it's for extended storage, like those boxes that don't go out right away.
Now, I'm pretty sure dry cereal you can just have sit in a warehouse for a while without an issue. I don't know. I didn't catch what the name of this level is. Did it say it's a warehouse or something? I don't know.
I don't think it said so, but it absolutely is. By the way, the gun I just picked up is the equivalent of a BFG.
No, that's not the BFG.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure the BFG is like, it's the BFG. It fills up like half the screen. I don't remember how to get it. I know it's in this level. I know it's in the last level of episode 1. Did I mention like how the episodes came out yet in this take? Our first take was awful. I think I mentioned that in this take. The episode 1 of Chex Quest came in a box of cereal on a disc. I actually still have that disc sitting around, though you can't run it on a modern computer. Episode 2 was on their website like shortly after, and episode 3 was made by the original creator like 10 years after the fact. And the news of the third episode was how I found out that you could still get Chex Quest. How I downloaded it like a year ago and played it so thoroughly a year ago. I haven't played it long enough today to make sure the record worked. Jason's played it through. He played it through on our first take when he breezed through easily on easy mode.
One of the big troubles I'm having right now is the enemies are respawning, and I cannot remember where I've been already.
Have you gone downstairs yet?
I've gone down to 2 different areas.
No, not that area. The area in the middle. That's the wrong way.
Middle.
Yeah, like go along the back wall. There's a door in the middle. No, that's where you came in. That door. And this is mission control for the whatever storage place. Yeah, really, between this and Doom 2, I wouldn't figure this is the one that wasn't made by the creators of Commander Keen.
Yeah, no, this is just so very similar to Commander Keen's playful style.
Now, I love this aesthetic. I fully admit I love this game more than Doom. I can never really get into the gory metal horror aesthetic, but this sort of silly green alien 60s sci-fi aesthetic I love. And a spork. Because that's how you eat breakfast cereal. What's spork? And you just picked up the Allspark. We noticed this on the first take. Look at that screen. That is clearly a peanut going through mitosis of some sort.
Well, osmosis.
No,
Mitosis is when they merge.
I thought I thought osmosis when they merge, and mitosis was. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I make video games, and making video games doesn't require me to know biology. That's why I make video games about robots. I don't have to know anything about biology.
And the biology that you have to deal with, you can just make up as you go. I mean, with the aliens, who the hell knows what affects what?
Or, green slimes who are affected by Zorchi laser. What are things shot by a Chex man? Did they name the main character? I don't recall the main character ever getting a name.
How much did they name? No, I don't think he has a name, but
Oh, the Doom guy didn't have a name either. He was Doom Space Marine. This is Chex dude. Chex guy. I see him in the bottom screen there. He's just looking through his very large Chex armor. Or he's a very small guy in a piece of Chex. What is that? That thing you walked by. Those, what are those?
those are apparently pylons.
I think you need additional pylons. So I apologize for that joke. That was bad of me.
One thing we need to mention is the art style of the guns, where they're definitively reskins of the Doom guns, but the way that they've just designed them really gives you no idea of which one is which.
I think we talked about that already in this take. But yeah, it is weird.
We talked about the other gun, but I mean, this right here I'm using is the equivalent of a shotgun, though its image just looks like a bigger pistol.
Is that not what a shotgun is?
No?
Okay. I don't play first-person shooters unless they star giant Chex Man. And that was the shrine to the yellow K. Yeah, I'm making fun of it, but this is a really fun game. I really recommend downloading it, and it's free. You're free. You play it all you want. You don't need to pay for it or anything. I wonder who designed a teleport gun that is inhibited by armor. That seemed like a bad design choice for a teleport gun. And now we're back to the no talking again because I didn't get. We wanted to talk more about the game than just general whatever nonsense, and this game just really doesn't have that much to talk about. Unlike a lot of the weirder indie games that we're probably going to end up playing, this is like, yeah, it's Doom 2, but not. Ooh, you can see Secret Room. Or, I guess not Secret Room, regular room.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess those area maps just allow you to see more on the map.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all they're doing.
What I'm playing on now is the hardest setting, which is just not what you should be playing on. As I'm not sure whether there's going to be an ammo issue at some point, but it is just draining everything I have.
Yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned it yet in this take. The default controls for the game are awful. I really recommend changing the controls to more standard first person controls. I mean, it's a product of when the game came out. I get that, but otherwise the game has aged really well, except for the awful, awful, awful MIDI music you can't hear because we're talking all over it. You're better off not hearing the awful, awful MIDI music. See, I think I figured out the point of this place now. This is where they grow Fruit Loops. I don't know if Chex and Fruit Loops are made by the same company, to be entirely honest. But that's my theory. They're growing Fruit Loops, and the slimes just aren't okay with that.
Now you can see by my portrait that I'm covered in slime now that I have, lower health. So apparently it's not that I'm taking damage, it's just that I'm getting covered in slime.
Again, family-friendly game. No one gets hurt. You get teleported or slimed. That's all. Take a look at one of those tanks. I'm curious what this is they're showing. Oh, I guess kill the... No, the tank's on the wall. I don't think that's how pumpkins grow. I don't think pumpkins grow in water. I think they're making stuff up. They did not do their botanical research for this game. A secret is revealed. Not Doom 2.
So this is a game that I played like when it came out in the box 15 years ago, and it was definitely an interesting game. As my mother was just the more overprotective kind and wouldn't let me play any violent games. But yeah, this was like the most violent game she would let me to play when I was younger.
I don't know. When you stop and think about it nowadays, some of those early games are really, really screwed up. like Mario Brothers, where you're slaughtering mushroom guys for no really adequately explained reason. This game really didn't leave much to talk about. We tried. We're on our second take. We remembered all our good stuff from the first take, and then came up with more stuff. That's why you should send us links to other good free games that have more to talk about. It is a fun game to play. I mean, just look at it. I mean, okay, this room's not a good example of the fun to playness of this game, but it's a genuinely really fun first-person shooter. It's completely free, not free to play. Not if you donate or something. It's free, and you can play it without pirating. But it is just Doom 2. No interesting game design discussion to come out of this, really. There isn't really much in the way of environmental storytelling going on, despite as much as I try and look at the monitors on the side of the screen. It's like this. This is a cavern or a mine or something where they mine rocks, but there's slime around. Ooh, there's a hole in the wall. Go in the hole in the wall. No, not that hole in the wall. The behind you.
Here?
Yeah, you got the spork. We're going to see if we can find some of the secret areas. This is the level that has the BFG in it, and I hope you find it, because it's kind of cool.
Oh, we didn't find the BFG in our last playthrough, but I remember roughly where it is from playing it so long ago.
That just looks weird. Just everything about what's going on down there looks weird.
Yeah, the graphics at the time did a very poor job at depicting or looking up and down.
No, a lot of the games didn't even let you look down, up and down. I don't think this game naturally had that until. I mean, it might have naturally had it before I changed the controls, but it's just. It wasn't designed with that. I mean, why would you ever need to look up and down? Just look at what's in front of you. What's wrong?
Well, yeah, when I played it a while ago, I didn't even know that there was, an option to have the mouse in there. So I never actually did look up and down and, let it auto aim for me.
There really are a lot of crates of Chex just sitting around in this cavern. I mean, I'm not seeing any miners. Presumably the slime guys killed them all, but apparently all they did was eat Chex. All day, every day, because that's all that's here. And they mined with Chex, because that's all that's here. No, that's the door you're supposed to go in. And bats, who are not cereal or slime. They're just bats. I don't know why there are bats. It seems oddly out of place.
Yeah, there really is absolutely no reason aesthetically or mechanically for those bats.
And I'm trying to figure out the lore here of why they're, trying to develop a headcanon for why there might be bats. Maybe this area is right next to Count Chocula Land. They're chocolate bats. That's what it is. They're chocolate bats from Count Chocula. Now, I know, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure now you can't get the BFG now that you went over the waterfall.
I actually, from what I remember the BFG actually being down here.
Oh, maybe it's past that waterfall. There we are. There we are. Now you have the. Did you catch the name? Yeah, whatever. And that was a green snuffleupagus you just blew up or teleported. And Cheerios. Yeah, Flembrain. I'm Flemoids. I'm not comfortable with that name. I'm no. And you escaped into orbit. And you were congratulated for daring rescue. But have we seen the last of the Flemoids? Do you think we've seen the last of the Flemoids?
Oh, not a chance in hell.
No, it'd be a really boring next 2 episodes if we've seen the last of the Flemoids. Terror in Chex City. I'd see, that's the thing. This is why we wanted to go through this again. I really want to do episode 2, which was not on the original disc. That's when interest. Yeah, that website does not exist anymore. That's when the game starts to get interesting going through the Chex City. Hey, new game. Terror in Chex City. Yeah, that's pragmatic there. That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, having no idea what I'm doing and yeah, we're not going to do that.
There's a diner there. A diner that cereal goes to eat at. Diner.
Original name right there.
Yeah, they thought good, long, and hard before coming up with that name. And look, there's the jelly donut man.
Are you sure that's a jelly donut?
I don't know. He has very large vents for a diner. Let's see if you can see the menu. So no, we cannot read that menu. No, seriously, jelly donut man. That's yeah.
For having his place overrun by slime, he's very into that spoon.
Well, see, that's his spoon, the knife spoon that he has. He's fending off the slime with the spoon, like your spoon.
Yeah, I have a spoon too, but I don't stare at it.
Well, I got nothing for you. And the giant crates of Chex. So that's all anyone eats in this. Now, that's actually kind of hit me now. Are you a cannibal? Are you a Chex man who eats Chex?
Maybe it's not for eating. Maybe they're enslaved Chex, and the slimes actually put them in a box.
I had not considered that. And a worm. I was thinking more lines. Maybe they're just crates made by Chex. Chex brand crates. Shipping to the Chex place. International Spaceport. Wait, what's the green say on there? No civilians. Hey. Well, I guess the slime worm isn't a civilian.
But yeah, jumping back. The implied storyline is that the boxes of Chex are there, because it's stored cereal. However, nothing of this game really gives a storyline, so we can go ahead and ignore the implied here. Oh, that was the way I was supposed to go.
Yeah, you found the end now. And, no secret areas barely at all. Now we're entering the cinema. I love this level. And apparently that's a weird monster thing they're advertising. All these guys are just in line to see new Star Wars. Why are you shooting them? This is exactly what Star Wars nerds look like.
All right. Whether or not they're in line to see Star Wars, you don't know necessarily that I'm not zorching them to an area where they can also watch Star Wars.
Fair enough. We should stop to look at some of the movie posters. I want to see how much work they put into them. Oh, that's Blaster. My. So Blaster was a secret, and Shark. That's my favorite movie. Wait. Mr. Something. Now, Minnesota. So Indiana became Minnesota Joe? Maybe Minnesota Joe? Not Ace Ventura. Clearly, I can't read it, but clearly not Ace Ventura. I think you need to go into the ticket box to get the next key. Or not. Or yes. See, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I hadn't even started looking where I was supposed to go. I was still into the.
Yay, Mickey Mouse. Or Mickey Cat. Just so I'm clear that we're pointing this out, you are shooting up a movie theater. I don't think they would be allowed to put out this game nowadays. I mean, granted, it's sci-fi shooting up a theater that's clearly been invaded by green slime dudes, but yeah. Yeah. That's happening. That's what you're doing. They just came to watch a movie and you're shooting them all. That's what? What? What's going? What?
Are those beans or feet?
I don't know. This game is taking weird turns now. And that's saying a lot from where the starting position of this game.
You'd think that a weird turn for this game would have been, realism, but not the case.
Well, again, you are shooting up a movie theater.
No.
Are you lost? Did you get lost in that single direction you can go?
No, I was standing there, didn't do anything. I had to get off and go back on it for no reason whatsoever.
Now we can get a good look at the movie poster things up this spork. He loves his Chex. Loves it. Just eat him up, basketball guy wearing a Chex uniform. Yeah.
Is that cereal on a table and he's standing next to the table trying to dunk the ball? Is he jumping or sitting?
I have no idea what's going on in this picture, to be entirely honest with you. This is just... I don't like the grin on your face. I don't want to know where your comments are going from here.
I I don't know. It's just there's zero continuity to that at all.
Hungry?
Hungry.
Hungry That face looks familiar. I've seen that face in something else before.
Almost looks like Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, a little bit, or Meatwad or something to that effect. I think I'm thinking Meatwad. That's Meatwad up there. And Meatwad loves Chex, so you should get Chex. Stop sporking the chairs. He's somehow transporting these guys by jamming a spork into their chest. That's what's going on.
I really just have no idea whether you eat Chex, you are Chex. Maybe you eat the slime. Maybe the Chex eats the slime, and you're zorching them back to captivity for them to be processed.
Yeah, I'm just wait before you click anything. I'm noticing his mustache. Did you notice the mustache on his face?
I didn't actually see the mustache. I saw like a little bit of line, but not really a mustache.
Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't catch where you are now, but that is a lovely spoon fixture with Chex on it and more Fruit Loops.
And there's clearly a wall here somewhere for some reason, because fuck me.
Yay, invisible walls. Yeah, I didn't catch what level this is. Are you in a residential area or what? Oh, you're in a museum now. Okay. This will hopefully spark some commentary. That's a dinosaur. That is Vincent Van Chex. That is a painting by Vincent Van Chex. That's the Scream. That is the Mona Chex. And that's Salvador Dali Chex. They had some great artists on the Chex planet, and 2.5D is always fun. Apparently dinosaurs once lived on the planet of Chex.
So I'm wondering where they would have implemented the Chex as the skeleton. I would have figured the rib cage would have been made out of a Chex.
Yeah, they could have put more effort into that. And no Chex on the Pharaoh, apparently.
He was a fond eater of Chex.
Fair enough.
Clea Chextula.
That was an interesting pronunciation. David Chex. Okay, the Chex thinker. They didn't really dig down to get any particularly obscure Chex art. Yeah, I'd say that now. I don't recognize that one off the top of my head. There's the birth of Venus Chex. Or Cheerios, actually. That's the birth of Venus Cheerios. And vaguely modern art. might be a reference to something specific. I mean, I guess they couldn't. They could have not had a museum of Chex art. I don't know. It's less sparked conversation. Is more okay. That's odd. It's more like the sort of weird art you'd see in a Saturday morning cartoon of not really putting any thought into it.
Although the entire game really shows of being a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, I get that sort of vibe. And another warehouse packed to the rafters with checks. You don't need health. Stop trying to pick up the health you don't need. Is there a flashlight you got at any point? I don't remember.
Oh, I've never actually done this one, but I'm just going to assume no.
Oh yeah, that's right. You never did this episode. So now you're back in the museum and you go to the that room. Wait for a second before you go through that door. That's the same spaceship you've seen like 50 times already.
Wait a second. There's an airport in this area with them in it. Why is this one in a museum?
Maybe it's the prototype. It's the original one that they made like 40 years ago that all the new ones are based off of. Or it's a sculpture of a spaceship, not an actual spaceship. Oh no. It's found art. This is the guy just grabbed a spaceship, put it there, and put an interesting description on it. It's titled not spaceship.
I'd also like to point out the aerodynamics of this spaceship. It's clearly is the foundation is a Chex, and then I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm seeing the front, the back, or whatnot here. I don't know what I'm looking at right now.
So you'd say the work of art is in fact provoking your thought.
It's provoking something.
Fair enough. It's a meta commentary on the modern transportation system. I mean, we're making fun of it. This is a really fun game. I don't know if that's coming across. We can make fun of things we like. We're adults. See, I wish this was a corn maze, because that would be an interesting concept, since Chex, I believe, are made of corn. Seeing actual physical corn around would be an interesting perspective, I think. Like seeing fetal Chex or something.
I think it actually is intended to be like a corn maze. However, they really could have done a better job, one at, showing what the plans are, and two, making jokes about fetal Chex.
Yeah, actually, I think I don't blame them for not making that joke. Yeah, that maybe it was not a good idea to have the background the exact same color as all the enemies. I don't know if I support that design decision.
Yay, and here I am back where I started.
This isn't like a maze of walls. This is a maze of plants. and you're in the middle of some important business at the moment, I imagine. Can't you just like juggernaut through the bushes and just not bother with this nonsense?
That's also mentioned the fact that I have a teleporting gun and should be able to teleport the walls.
Or better yet, can't you change settings and just teleport yourself to where you need to be? I mean, that seems like that would have saved a lot of trouble for Chex Guy. Who, yeah, no, that is clearly a mustache. He clearly has a mustache between his mouth and nose and does not like what he stepped in at all.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely a French mustache right there.
Yeah, it is. Entering city streets.
But I'm going to elaborate on something you just mentioned about why can't you just change the settings so you can teleport? Makes you wonder, what is the relation from the Sorge gun to a portal gun?
It's interesting. Presumably the other end of where this comes out is like a set place where they're all getting teleported to slime jail.
Slime gel or something, yeah.
So yeah, it is. This is a portal gun like 15 years before portal guns. Except you can't portal yourself. You can only portal bad guys. You don't have the blue key. Stop trying to open the blue door.
So, do you think Chex were involved in the making of portal guns?
Did Czech scientists collude with Aperture scientists? I don't know. That's an interesting thought right there. You know, there's a bizarrely small amount of civilians in this city street. I wonder if they already evacuated everybody. I haven't seen any civilians in any other places either.
I'm going to go back to my thoughts about I'm actually doing the invading. This is a slime world where, they happen to love Chex, and I'm a vigilante going around and avenging the fallen Chex.
Which explains why there's Chex crates all over the place. I think your narrative makes a lot more sense than whatever nonsense they were talking about in the descriptions. That these guys are all just around. They're just walking around, and you are massacring slimes in their native city. Which would explain why there's slime all over the place.
Yeah, that explained the boxes, that explained why the slimes are there. It's lack of civilians and a few other potholes I don't want to try to remember.
It actually does make more sense if you look at it that way. If you're going to avenge, you're on a planet where Czechs are taken hostage and eaten, and you are there just wrecking it up. You know, the yellow's door's right there. Did you go through the yellow door already?
That's right. No, I didn't. I was wondering where the next door I needed to go to was.
Right there. The door you just went through. I'm noticing a bowl of vegetables heals you up. And, okay, kids' games, sure, they want to encourage kids to eat vegetables. But I don't buy that Chex guy eats vegetables. I don't buy that. I also don't buy the milk either. Chex breakfast cereal is not good with milk. I mean water. Did I say milk? H2O. Clearly says H2O. You don't eat Chex with water. You eat it with milk. Or peanut butter. whichever the case may be. Yeah, see, cabbage and carrots. Chex guy doesn't eat cabbage and carrots. Why would you even say that, Chex West? Oh my god, the MIDI music is so awful. It's so tonally weird. Why would they do that? I think the next time I play, I'm just going to turn the MIDI music off and play whatever in the background. You cleaned up the streets. Ooh, under par. Yay. Entering the sewer system.
As for the vegetables, like, it's a weird system as they're filling up your vegetable bar, because you're not actually taking damage, you're getting slimed on. So the vegetables remove the slime. Is that the impression we should be getting?
Yes, you're wiping the slime off with cabbage. That is the most appropriate use for cabbage.
But under that notion, the water makes sense. Like, the water's not healing you, it's just cleaning the slime off.
Ah, fair enough. I'll buy that. This water is awfully clean for a sewer system.
Well, they're slimes. How dirty do you think they would be?
I don't know.
I assume anything disgusting and slimy just gets attached to them. So what they would relieve is everything not dirty and disgusting.
Yeah, I'm curious what slime or breakfast cereal, for that matter, would need a sewer system for, but, yeah. I don't know. You need the red key. You don't have the red key.
I have a yellow key. I mean, they never really look any different. Like, why can't I just use the yellow key to open up the red door?
Because magic. That's why. Like, I'd really wish I could be commenting more in the game design and the art and, the theory and philosophy behind how they made the game. But it's Doom 2. There's dudes walking around with weak AI, which is fine because you're just supposed to be going around shooting them up. There's, a decent selection of weapons, but it's, the weapons Doom 2 had with slightly different stats. The bosses just really didn't have much thought put in them. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun game if you want to play Doom 2, but not bloody and gory. But it doesn't really lend itself to much analysis other than, silly jokes in the movie theater. And it's like, this is kind of a boring design level aesthetically. I mean, I think the actual layout's kind of fun. It's kind of maze-ish, which is, again, the style of game. 2.5D shooters are generally very maze-ish. And there's secrets, and it kind of, shows ahead of time of places you can go, but it's the bricks and water. I think whoever made this could have put a bit more effort into the art here. It's just dull green and weirdly bright water and grates, and yeah. I like the silly jokes in the cinema. I like the silliness of the streets you can go around. I like the weird facilities you were going around episode 1. This is a boring level aesthetically, and I don't know. I think they could have done more with this, even with the limited technology.
I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, even if they didn't do like half the stuff they did do, like if they only put in like one weapon or something, they could have just made it a more interesting place to be. As it's maze in the sense that it's repetitive, not so much as maze in the sense that it's complicated.
Yeah, like the maze they had in the arboretum and that not corn maze you just went through. It's like, I like mazes. I like exploration games. Like, that's the general whole idea behind these games is you're wandering around mazes getting keys. But it's like, mazes are about discovery and discovering new things. And if you're not discovering new things, it's kind of boring. And yeah, this is not a well implemented maze. Hope you're picking up all the ammo, because like even on the easier difficulties, I ran out of ammo on this boss. Oh yeah, by the way, the boss is here. You're at the boss.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of slimy dudes. You'd figure the water wouldn't be quite as bright blue as it is. And now you just circle strafe the guys who can't shoot you because this game was not designed with circle strafing in mind.
Yeah, the game really wasn't intended for you to have a mouse.
No, it wasn't. I mean, the overall game's better with it, but it's like, I would say between this guy and wall thing that's in the first one, the bosses are probably the weakest point of this game, other than horrendous MIDI music. And there you go, you beat the second episode. Yay. The Zorch remaining Flemoids who had gathered in the sewers of Chex City. Blah, 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 blah. 10 years pass in peace and prosperity, but the Flemoids were not defeated. Totally not referring to the actual 10 years before the next episode gets made. Ooh, their desire to control the nutritionally rice cereal dimension. Nutritionally rich cereal dimension. That's where you're from.
Okay. So now we are actually in Chex City, which makes me wonder: are the boxes of Chex where they live? Like, I mean, I have my theories and they make sense, but I just really wonder what their intentions really were. Like, why do Chex only eat Chex? Or well, they're boxed. I guess they eat the vegetables in the water, but why are there the boxes?
It's like a less thought out version of wooden crates than you'd normally see in first person shooters. It's weird because they have little thought put into them in the first place. This is even less thought to make sure the Chex logo is in front of you at all times, always, forever and always. By Chex.
Well, I think it's over thought out. I think if it didn't have a logo, it would have been fine. There would have been questions like, where are the Chex? But, now that the Chex logo is on the boxes, what does that imply?
Not a lot of thought put into the environmental storytelling in this game, really. So I think we're done because I know episode 3 doesn't have a lot to talk about. So this has been Dan and Jason Play a Thing. This Chex Quest is a completely free game. I'll put a link into where you can get it in the description. If you know of other free games that you've played and or made, or cheap games for poor people under $10, send me a message or leave a comment, and we might play that game if we can be bothered to do an episode again. Because we've been trying to do this for like a month. I've been preoccupied with getting ready for BFIG and just busy with work and stuff. We haven't gotten around to doing this, but we'd like to do more episodes somewhat regularly.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to add. Well, it was fun, guys.
Yeah, okay. See you next time, maybe, if there is a next time.